Well, welcome back again. We're here for the My Team series once again. This time, episode 6, we've gone through Australia, China, Japan, Bahrain, and Jeddah. We've got a podium already in this series. We've got a couple points finish as well in this series, but nonetheless, last race was a disappointing race weekend. We just lacked pace overall as a whole. We could have probably, if we qualified better, probably could have fought better for a point. We was in the fight for a point if we didn't get held up as much on the start, but nonetheless, disappointing weekend. But the title sponsor loyalty has grown. But yeah, thank you all for the support over the last couple Twitch streams and videos as well, meaning the absolute world. But nonetheless, we can go on to the research side of things. We can get some more research things going, mainly for just durability this time, because we need to get unlock some more upgrades. This will be, you can see, one of our developments has failed. That'll be there for next episode in the Canadian Grand Prix, where it's going to be an absolute, I think it'll be an absolute wonderful episode, because Canada always is a phenomenal race, without a shadow of a doubt. I always enjoy driving it. I enjoy watching it. It's one of my favorite circuits. Every now and again, of course, I don't like it, but hey, it's racing, isn't it? Nonetheless, we can finally do some more research expansion, this time on the aerodynamic side of things. But nonetheless, we can advance forward. You just mainly see here how much we are doing. Just we're getting close to the midway point of the season, so this is where we can properly continue to properly start assigning upgrades. So probably get building upgrades and such. We get off a durability upgrade. We're going to put on Gabriella Mini's car, and then nonetheless we can continue on and on. Victor Martin's car, sorry, I meant. And anyway, we've got a chassis breakthrough. If you know what that means, it means we have now got some more chassis upgrades. We can now start researching, but as you see, we've got 3 more chassis upgrades we can begin production of, so ensure that our car can get better performance. So we make sure we can start developing some more upgrades as well. We need to improve our powertrain because our top speed hasn't been the most competitive of all things, has it really? We've been quite slow in the straight line. There's your R&D chart. Mercedes top from Ferrari, who have jumped out of McLaren again after they dropped behind momentarily, and then basically the rest of all their stays as it was. Apart from a few changes in the midfield, we can go make sure we have some more research space for some more researches in the powertrain. Get a message. Our chassis, we've got a chassis development breakthrough. In terms of our tyre allocation, then for the sprint weekend, we are going to go harder, mainly because you always get two sets of hard tyres in a race. But nonetheless, we can make our way towards the race weekend, where this time, once again, we are going to drive as Gabriel Emily because he's the driver behind the standings. We're going to ensure that we make it fair and equal. And now, as soon as when we get Gabriel Emily ahead, and then we continue on.
Welcome to the Sunshine State. Miami is ready and we're ready for practice.
So the weather's not looking the greatest here in Miami. In the intro, it said, "Welcome to the Sunshine State." It's quite far from the Sunshine State. It is safe to say, at least, as we go on our first lap here, we set a 44.387 in the last second lap. In the race strategy program, there is rain predicted throughout the whole weekend. On every single day of this race weekend here in Miami, we're going to have a bit of rain. Anyway, over the line, we improve by 1.7 seconds out to 42.615. We then come over the line for our next lap here, and we do improve by 57 milliseconds. And then on this particular lap over the line, we don't improve. We had a big mistake. But then on our final run here towards the line, we go. Crossing the line, we improve by 3.5 tenths of a second. And there's your practice run through then. Norris from Hadjar and Antonelli is your top 3 for FP1. And then it'll be from Hulkenberg, Albon, Leclerc, Alonso, Sainz, Stroll, Hamilton, Victor Martin in P11, so not too shabby. Colapinto in 12th, and Verstappen, Gasly, Lindblad, Perez, Ocon, Behrman, and then George Russell, one of the championship contenders, then Liam Lawson, then Piastri, another one of them, Bottas and Bortoletto. We only did the interrun. Let's go to the garage for sprint quali.
It's a sprint weekend here at the track, and before we can go racing, we need to go qualifying. Who will be on pole for the sprint to come? We're about to find out.
So here we are on the circuit on our first of 2 laps here in the Miami sprint qualifying session in SQ1, where we just have to try and get through to the top 17 first, but less late on the brakes. Through the final corner, stamp on the power again, plenty of battery towards the line as well. Purple middle sector as well, so we might have some pace this weekend, but it's only P20 on this particular run. So, as we begin our final run, it's going to be do or die really in this lap. We're going to have to just send it and hope for the best. Do want to try a different battery stat as well. Go through turn number 1 and apply the power once again. We find a 1/10 of a second as we go through turn 2. Put it back up to medium. Look, 1.5 tenths up already. We're finding time hand over fist before we go to the S section. Through the left, then through the right, back into medium as well. Just to try and keep up the speed as we go through the long sweeping left-hander where your front right will be crying. Minor lock-up then through turn through the long left-hander. Then we make our way down in towards probably the second favourite overtaking spot, I should say. We go in towards the heaviest braking zone, apart from the final corner as well. Towards the braking zone we go, rotate it in. We are finding ourselves 3.5 tenths of a second up, so this should be enough to make it through. A little bit of time through the mid-corner. Then we go in towards the chicane, uphill chicane. We slide in, go a bit deep, slightly cut the corner, and once again invalidate our lap time. A bit like, I think it was Bahrain, where he was improving and we just invalidated. So we're going to have to fight from the back, I think is the best way to put it. Fight from the back in the Miami sprint. We've only got 10 laps to do it, have we here? But nonetheless, we butchered the final corner. Just finishing, see what we could have got. Going to come over the line. We're barely going to improve this lap, so it wouldn't have been enough anyway. Over the line, so 27.7. We would have been, I think, good enough for P19 or maybe P18 just to go ahead of Esteban Ocon in the Haas. We would have been close to making it through, but nonetheless, there's your run through then. Lando Norris tops it from Piastri, and Hamilton, Russell, Leclerc, Antonelli, both Red Bull, then Carlos Sainz, Ollie Behrman for Haas in P10, Nico Hulkenberg in P11, then it's Alex Albon from Sergio Perez, Pierre Gasly, Arvid Lindblad, Franco Colapinto, Fernando Alonso, then the 7th to fall in the first hurdle, Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon, Victor Martins, Gabriele Mini, and then Liam Lawson, Lance Stroll, and Gabriel Bortoleto all round off the grid for the sprint race. Let's go to the grid for what is probably going to be a rain-soaked Miami sprint race in Florida.
It's wet here today, and we're expecting those downpours to continue. This will make for a difficult sprint for all the teams. Well, it's certainly not sunny here in the Sunshine State. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 19 corners and 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium. But these conditions should prove especially difficult for all of our drivers today. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Piastri, Antonelli, George Russell, and Hamilton, Verstappen, Hadjar, Sainz, and Alex Albon, Gasly, Behrman, Franco Colapinto, and Lindblad, Alonso, Perez, Nico Hulkenberg, and Valtteri Bottas, Ocon, Martins, Mini, Lawson, Stroll, and Gabriel Bortoleto rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today. Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
So here we are on the grid then, and it looks like it says it's going to dry up in an instant, so like halfway through the sprint. So I'm thinking, like league races, let's just go for the inters. The track dries up really quickly. We're going to be the only driver on the inters, so we're going to continue to get faster and faster in this sprint race. As the track will continue to dry up, we will just be the fastest one. Without a shadow of a doubt, we can then put foot to the floor on this formation lap to see what the grip is like. And it didn't feel all that bad, to be honest. I asked Mark on the formation lap about the weather, and he said inters and wets had very similar pace. So, this might be a masterclass in the strategy call by ourselves. We line up on the grid then P21 out of 24. And we're going to have to go to the 5 red lights as we make it a standstill. We wait for the 3 cars of Lawson, Stroll and Bortoletto to line up. And we go to the grid. We go to the 5 red lights on. In Miami, we're racing towards turn number 1 in a rain-soaked start. And we get away perfectly. Already jump our teammate Victor Martin and Esteban Ocon. We're going to go brave on the brakes, diving on the inside line. Past Bottas, past Hulkenberg, past Perez, past a lot. As we go on the braking. And it's so slow. Through turn number 2, through turn number 3, we've got the outside line for Franco against Franco Colapinto, but not haven't got the grip to just fight him. The wet tyres will be still slightly better in comparison to our intermediate, but we're going to continue to get faster and faster as this race goes on. I think of trying to just hang it on the outside of Colapinto, but again, the grip will just run out. We go through the long sweeping left-hander, gonna maybe think of a move on the inside of Colapinto. Making the move stick if we can, apply the power, have a little bit of a snap, leave him just enough room on the exit, up into 15th from 21st, but this is why I was saying earlier, we might need these powertrain upgrades. Look how appalling the straight line speed is. We've got Hulkenberg catching us. We've got the same power unit as Hulkenberg as well, because we've both got Audi power. So we go through the we go through the slight hairpin. And then we go towards the Mickey Mouse section where we held position. Luckily, we're good on the brakes in the rain in comparison to other people. Through the Mickey Mouse chicane we go. We might try and think of a dive bomb move on the inside of Colapinto. Look at the speed we can carry compared to the AI, diving on the inside, getting the elbow out and making the move to get into 15th position. But once again, the straight line speed might show here. Look at the gap, 6/10. The gap will be coming down all the while here. It feels like the AI could use more battery than us, because our battery starts going up halfway down the straight, but then they're always gaining no matter what. And that gap comes down to 2/10 as we go under braking through the final corner here. And then we go towards turn 1. But once again, we got Alonso in front of us. And once again, it's a very good start from ourselves, finding a hatful of positions here in towards turn number 1. On lap number 2 we go. However, we can go to the race start replay here. Norris on pole, Leclerc alongside him. Towards turn 1 we go. We go racing on the replay. And Norris got quite the poor start in comparison to Charles Leclerc, who's on the inside line towards turn 1. Charles Leclerc backs out of it though. And Lando Norris leads from Leclerc, Piastri, who's doing battle with Kimi Antonelli in the Mercedes. Antonelli looking to sail on the outside line. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton doing battle as well. So we go in towards the S section. Russell behind the Ferrari, and then Max Verstappen as well, getting close to the rear of Hadjar. And we go back to our battle. We've got the slipstream, but look, Alonso in the Aston Martin, which should not be quicker than anyone in a straight line, just pulling away from us still. As we go in towards the final corner, we're going to go brave on the brakes, diving on the inside line, and we make the move past the 2-time world champion of Fernando Alonso and get into 14th place in the race. Now we can set after Arvid Lindblad in the Racing Bulls as we go towards turn number 1. But then we approach lap number 3. There is going to be us trying to hunt down Franco Colapinto. And I think there was yellow flags at the back. Not exactly what's sure. We can see what happened here. As we get on the replay, it might have been Sergio Perez in the Cadillac through the long... Oh, my word. Swear. Just snapping out from wing damage for the Cadillac driver. And Perez's hopes of any and somewhat of a result is just dashed in an instant. There's more yellow flags up ahead. And Max Verstappen one of the maestros of the rain, Max Verstappen, into the barrier. Max Verstappen has had an issue in the rain. We go through the right hand. It's the exact same. It's the exact same as Sergio Perez. Front wing damage for the Red Bull. Verstappen's out. Well, he's not out, but he's out of contention in this sprint race. There's more yellow flags ahead now. I don't know what it's for this time. Oscar Piastri. Piastri's now out of the sprint race. So Piastri has had a mechanical failure in this sprint race. You just see him going slowly towards the Mickey Mouse section. That allows Hamilton, Antonelli and Russell through. So Piastri's having a disaster sprint race as well, just like Verstappen and Perez. But then we've somehow now closed up to Lindblad. Towards the final corner we go. We're going to be gaining all the while on Arvid Lindblad, I would hope. But as we make our way towards the final corner, nope, Lindblad's pulling away from us, even though we have to slipstream. Very nice power unit, Audi, as we go in towards the final corner of the circuit here. We are gaining, but further up ahead, Alexander Albon. There's yellow flags for something. What has happened ahead? Alex Albon! Albon spun the car. Alex Albon around. And then surely a red flag. Yes, it is. The red flag's come out, and it says we're in 8th. So are we going to be starting P8 for the Miami restart sprint race? If we are, we've been absolutely blessed here. Red flag session stopped, and it's surely going to be maybe soft tyres. We're considering it, but it seems to be slower. So we're going to go on medium tyres to the end of this sprint race, I will presume here. We're just trying to see the difference. But yeah, going to go to the 5 red lights again. And yes, we're starting 8th position. So 5 lights on. And for the second time today, we go racing towards turn number 1. Quite a decent start in comparison to the Williams of Alex Albon and Isaac Hadjar. We're 3 wide through turn number 1, outside of Hadjar, inside of Albon. We make 2 positions already. Hamilton and Russell doing battle. We go for the switchback on the pair of them, going wheel to wheel with Lewis Hamilton now. George Russell as well, right in front of us. We're going to try and use his clean air to try and make this position. The contact as Hamilton. Lawson's out of the race. We make the move on Hamilton, who drops behind Isaac Hadjar. We've had a great start. We're up at the 5th race play of the race start as well here in the sprint race in the Miami sprint race, and we go racing once again, and Lando Norris again has nailed the race start on lap 7 of 10 here in Miami. We go in towards turn 1 with the leaders, ensuring that they get close enough. We go through the twists and the turns of turn 2 and turn 3. You can just see us sticking our nose on the inside there, trying to make the move on George Russell, one of the preseason favourite for the title. We look around the outside of Hamilton. We do make that move on Hamilton. There's a replay of it on the off-board shot. It's a lovely move. But then, once again, we're now 3 wide. Hamilton and Hadjar, we're doing battle with the rear end sliding around as we're able to hold that position. But once again, just look at the straight line speed the Red Bull has got, what the AI have got in general in comparison to us. We're losing positions hand over fist. We're going towards the next corner, in towards the heavy brakes. There we go. Hamilton just absolutely flies on through. We're going to go brave on the brakes against Isaac Hadjar. Make the move on Hadjar. Hold 6th position at least as we go towards the S section again. Hadjar gaining. I'm just distracted looking from the rear. And Hadjar hit the wall. Hadjar makes the move. It was a lovely manoeuvre. Isaac Hadjar gets through. Then on the penultimate lap, Hadjar's out of battery. We're going to be gaining all the while, pulling out to the inside line and making the move on Hadjar. I instantly go to defend Alexander Albon. Hadjar gets back through as well, but we're going to instantly dive it back on the Red Bull driver. Minor wheel bang in here as we make the move, get back through into 6th place in this race. As we go towards turn 1 once again, we've got the move. But then down the straight we go once again. Albon has got plenty of batteries, just like us. It's just literally a straight fight. Squeezing Alex Albon towards the wall. Hadjar making his way through as well. So we've dropped down into 8th. It might be 9th because Ollie Behrman's looking to make the move as well. We dive it back on the inside of Isaac Hadjar. We make the move back on the Red Bull driver. Outside line will favour us because we'll be able to hold the momentum. And we keep 7th position. So at the minute, we're back in 2 points, which is not too shabby whatsoever. Look how slow Albon is as we go through the corner. Lando Norris up ahead, comes towards the line. Lando Norris wins the Miami sprint race, but we're going to continue to try and fight for an extra point here against our rivals in the Constructors' Championship. Williams, who were expected to be frontrunners, they kind of are. They're doing well qualifying, but then in the race they seem to always fade away. Towards the final corner we go. He goes late as possible, trying to put Albon off. We put ourselves off with a little bit of a mistake there on the exit of the corner, and towards the line we do go. It's going to be P7. It's going to be points in the sprint race, and I do not mind that at all. 2 points on the board. It's our first point finish. I mean, it's only been a race away from the points, so it's not too shabby whatsoever. There's your sprint results. Then Lando Norris from Charles Leclerc, then Antonelli, Russell, Hamilton, Albon, ourselves in 7th, and Isaac Hadjar round off the points. Then it'll be Behrman, Colapinto, Sainz, Gasly, Lindblad. Verstappen was a torrential sprint race here in Miami, and then we go towards the rest of the order after Max Verstappen here in the Miami sprint. It's quite a shocking order. Hulkenberg from Alonso, then Ocon, Perez, Stroll, Martin, Bortoletto, Bottas, Lawson, and Piastri are the 2 DNFs. Let's go to the garage for the Miami Grand Prix qualifying.
Welcome back to Miami and welcome to qualifying. Only raw speed will separate these drivers today, but the question is, who's got what it takes to get pole?
Anyway, on our first run here in Q1, making our way towards the final corner of the racetrack. We're going to have massive lock up there, go very deep into the corner, and this lap, more or less in the bin, really. This is what the banker runs for, isn't it? Just to try and get a lap on the board to see where you're going to be standing. We line up 8th, but we're only ahead of Perez. We're second to last on the grid here. So it's like SQ1. It's do or die here in Miami qualifying. We're going to have to go Hail Mary send through turn number 1. We do go. Then through turn number 2. Gain time through the apex and put the battery back on momentarily. And we're going to make our way near on. Well, I say near on. We are over a 1/10 of a second up. Go through the left and then go through the right towards the S's. Well, I say through towards the S's, past the S's, then through the sweeping left-hander. Keep it tight once you start rotating it more, and we do get a good exit. And look at the time gain already. Near on, 4/10 of a second up. 1.4 tenths down on Alonso. That's not the worst in the world because the AI seems to be really good in the opening sector. The middle sector is where we usually find our time in comparison to the AI. Go on the braking, brake on the 100-meter board, going a very, very deep, actually leave the road, but the games let us keep the lap time. So nonetheless, we will make our way towards the chicane, go uphill, go as tight to the wall as you feel comfortable doing, half a second up, through the left-hander, towards the final corner we will now ride. The checkered flag is out. 6/10 up on our lap time, 4/10 up on Alonso's time as we go towards the final corner of the racetrack. We're going to have to just completely send it here. We're going to have to give it our all if we want to make it through into Q2 here in Miami. The car feels nice, but I feel like we've got the confidence and the grip to do it, but are we going to be able to make it through? 7.5 tenths up. You would think it would be enough as we come over the line. What's it going to be? Not enough. It's not enough to make it through into Q2. We're P18 on the grid, so we've improved from sprint qualifying at least. And we were 1 position away from making it through. Russell from Leclerc and Hamilton, Norris, Hadjar, Sainz, Piastri, Kimi, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Lindblad, Verstappen again having quite the shocker session. This time in P12, and it's Ocon in P13, Colapinto in P14, then from Lawson, Bottas, and then Albon, and then we were, to be fair, it was 1.8 tenths away, really, 1.7 tenths away from making it through. We're in 18th, Lance Stroll 19th, and then it's Ollie Behrman, Sergio Perez, Victor Martin in P22, Gabriel Bortoletto, not having quite the mediocre session, isn't he? Mediocre season, I should say. P23, then Fernando Alonso for Aston Martin in P24. And I'm going to show you this here. We're back at the grid. We're going to say, no matter, let's screw it. Let's just take fresh components for everything so we have that availability to go back to the old ones. And we have 2 new spare ones, or 2 or 3 new spare ones, or 4 new spare ones, just to ensure that we can use everything, whatever. But let's go to the grid for the Miami Grand Prix.
Welcome to the Magic City. We're here at the Miami International Autodrome, the home of the Hard Rock Stadium, a multi-purpose sports and entertainment hub which has hosted Super Bowls, Baseball World Series, numerous rock concerts, and of course, as of 2022, Formula One. With great opportunities for wheel-to-wheel battles featuring 19 corners, 3.36 miles long, and expected average speeds of 138 miles an hour, the Miami International Autodrome will be sure to create lots of chances to overtake. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Antonelli, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Verstappen, Hadjar, Sainz, Albon, and Pierre Gasly, Ocon, Colapinto, Nico Hulkenberg, and Bottas, Stroll, Behrman, Sergio Perez, and Victor Martins, Bortoletto, Alonso, Lindblad, Piastri, Lawson, and Gabriele Mini rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me, a man, well, what more can I say? But he's a legend, Anthony Davidson. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was. They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that there's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
Well, you've got to be prepared, Crofty. Before you even step foot inside the car, you've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y, or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get in the car.
So here we are at the rear of the field on the formation lap here. And one of the rival for the titles, Oscar Piastri, lines up 22nd on the grid. That's not the most ideal situation, is it, really, for Oscar Piastri? Also, the engine failure in the sprint has really cost him here. It's forced him to take a grid penalty. So we're going to have to get away. We're going to have to get some warmth and some temperature into these tyres. Piastri on the hard tyres. Maybe we're going to just try and extend until the rain period arrives. But as we make our way towards the grid, we're going to be the last one to line up. So it's going to be all eyes to us and the lights as well as we prepare for the Miami Grand Prix, creeping to our grid spot as we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in Miami, and we go racing towards turn number 1. We get a good start, and instantly past Lawson, past Piastri, quite an easy start. Dive on the inside of Lindblad, of Bortoletto, side by side with Alonso and now Victor Martin. We risky to stick our nose in there, side by side with our teammate now, as we look to make the move on Sergio Perez. Towards the end of the opening sector, we go, nothing's going to happen, so we can go to the race start, where we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the sprint race. Russell on pole, and we go racing in the on the replay, and Russell gets a phenomenal start already, past and clear of everyone. Through turn 1 we go. Antonelli trying to challenge Leclerc to make it a Mercedes 1-2. Russell leads from Charles Leclerc and Kimi Antonelli. George Russell's almost got a second gap. He has. George Russell leads by already over a second. Hadjar and Alex Albon going battle as well. Albon looking all the way around the outside line, but Hadjar will continue to fight this on and on and on, but will not be able to fight this one. But then as we make our way back to our replay through the S section, we do go rewind a little bit further back to before our action here. We're looking to make this move on Perez. A strong Behrman continue to fight up ahead. We go on the inside of Sergio Perez. We're going to make the move. Have we got the battery in the straight line speed? It'll be surprising if we do. We do momentarily, but then in the second phase of the straight, here comes Perez in the cut lap, but then we then get the straight line speed. It's like yo-yo, isn't it? Just back and forth, back and forth. Now Perez has no more top speed. We go under braking in towards the corner. Think of a move on the inside of Lance Stroll, but once again, we're not going to go through. We're going to try and maybe just hang it on the outside line, we ain't got the grip to get there. Nonetheless, we've gone from last to 17th already, so again, it's another decent start here in Miami. And once again, we're going to just try and send it on the inside of Lance Stroll, get the elbow out. Actually, no contact, so quite the clean send. And through we go momentarily into 16th, but the straight line speed on the Aston Martin, surprisingly, will beat the straight line speed of our Audi. Towards the final corner we go, and we're gaining in the slipstream of Colapinto. Colapinto goes defensive to the inside line. I think of going to the inside line. I'm going to try and set up on the outside line, go for the cutback. Through the final corner we go, looking to get the move on Stroll. Then Colapinto and Stroll continue to fight this one, but then it seems to be Stroll's out of battery. We go towards turn number 1, pulling out to the inside line, going past the Aston Martin. We like her, so they get momentarily ahead, but then under braking, you're able to go later than the Aston Martin and get through into 16th position in this sprint race. Nonetheless, back comes Lance Stroll in towards one of the favoured overtakers. So it's Lance Stroll on the inside line, going brave to the inside. We leave minimal room. We leave just enough room for the Aston Martin to get there. Now towards every bring zone we go. 3 wide are we. Through the corner, around the outside, we're going to go with 2 cars, and we're able to fend off Perez and Stroll to hold on to 16th. And now we're on the rear of Behrman. On the inside of the British driver we go, and past into 15th position we go. And now we're going to try and make this move on Franco Colapinto, edging closer, going on the inside, past the Argentine driver, and it's under braking, and through the traction, through the corner, we make the move. But now we're on the rear of Valtteri Bottas. We're going to try and make the move on the Cadillac driver. Dive on the inside line. It's a late move. Almost making contact. No contact made. We get through into 13th position here. But nonetheless, we will continue on and on and on. And we go on the break, and we're ahead of the Cadillac, but then as we go in towards the final corner, we go into the pits comes Hulkenberg. Into the pits we go as well. We're going to follow Hulkenberg in because we've been told by the engineer rain is 10 to 15 minutes away. The mediums will not make it that far. So why lose lap time when we can go for the undercut and gain lap time instead? Anyway, we come into our pit box here all the way at the end of the pit lane, rotate it in, and then apply the power and the clutch to ensure we can pull away. We just come ahead with a minor screen freeze for some reason. We come ahead of Esteban Ocon, so we've jumped someone in the pit lane nonetheless. Then we go on the exit of the pit lane, and we're able to come out ahead of the Frenchman, but nonetheless, Ocon will be right on our rear. Ocon goes to the inside, not space there, and contact with the Frenchman. And half a front wing's gone. I didn't think there was a gap there. I was closing it all the time. Late breaker we go. I kind of forget I had damage. And straight on we go. And the front wing's gone. Virtual safety car comes out. Why couldn't you have been a full safety car? And now we're in the pit lane. Front wing damage. Front wing's gone. Everything's gone. The race is gone. Our hopes of points are gone. There is no hope here in Miami. Nonetheless, we're going to have to just try and power on to try and continue to get a somewhat semi-decent result here in Miami. We're going to try and chase down the Audi driver. We've got the gap from 16 seconds down to 12.5 seconds. Lindblad as well had spun. We go through the Mickey Mouse chicane.
Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
We're out. We're out of the Miami Grand Prix. Misjudged the rotation. The tyres are gripped up a lot. It's a driver error without a doubt. We're out of the Miami Grand Prix. And it's not the greatest thing, is it? At least we got points in the sprint, so we come away from this weekend with some points, but it's a DNF.
We've seen a brilliant display of the Russell hustle. It's George Russell who wins.
A great display of dominance today, Crofty, by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them, and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
There's room for 3 on their podium, but only ever 1 right at the top. Let the celebrations begin. And taking his place on the top step of the podium, he gave it some hustle. Well done to George Russell. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there's your overall race results. And Russell gets 30 points in the bag, gains 12 points on Norris. But here's your Grand Prix race results then. Russell converts pole to victory from Verstappen, who gets a podium after the miserable sprint. Leclerc, then Antonelli. Norris, the world champion and championship leader in 5th. Quite a horrible Grand Prix, really, for the sprint race winner. Hamilton in 6th. Piastri from 22nd to 7th, so he can be happy with that one. Damage limitation. Hadjar in P8. Then it's Albon and Sainz. Williams get another double point finish, but we're still behind us. Gasly in 11th, and it's Colapinto in P12 from Liam Lawson and Hulkenberg. Ocon, Arvid Lindblad in P16 for Racing Bulls. Then it's Gabriel Bortoleto, Victor Martin for for our team, and then it's Behrman from Perez, Alonso, Bottas, Stroll, and then ourselves as the only DNF of the Grand Prix. Goes to the driver standings then. Lando Norris leads, but their gap's come down from 29 to 21. George Russell gained 12 points, but obviously Piastri was originally second in the World Championship. Lando Norris still leads the way. Got still a healthy margin, but that will continue to come down, I'm sure, as George Russell surely now picks up momentum. Russell second, Antonelli third, and Piastri fourth, Leclerc fifth, and it's Verstappen, Hamilton, and Hadjar. Victor Martin will remain in ninth position with that 1 point finish from the podium. That's Sainz in 10th, Alex Albon in 11th, Williams now on 18 points, Gabriele Mini P12 after 2 points in the sprint race, Lawson and then Gasly, Lindblad, and then the drivers are still as they were, who have not scored points yet in this main season. Constructors is now only split by 12 points. Mercedes was a phenomenal Miami Grand Prix weekend to gain 26 points on the Woking outfit. So Mercedes in second from Ferrari, then Red Bull, who are near on 50 points behind the Ferrari crew, and ourselves remain in fifth, but then only now 3 points ahead of Williams, and then it's going to be VCUP in seventh and Alpine in eighth, and the 4 teams still yet to score points: Audi, Haas, Aston Martin, and Cadillac. Miami episode done and dusted. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Once again, I will see you all for the next one. Ciao, adios. I am done.